Hey everybody, and welcome back to I Am Dead. We're in the Shelmerston Museum, trying to summon Aggie. And, there's tons of stuff we can look at. Welcome to Shelmerston Museum, free entry. What does people put inside there? People put some coins in there, a little bit of donations. Okay. Look for people that knew Aggie. But no one could have known Aggie because Aggie died 3,000 years ago, so... I kind of feel... Excuse you, game? I kind of feel bad for not looking at all of these things. I like how there's like little wormholes inside the wooden lady there. I forget, like, the maiden... whatever figurehead. There you go. I feel bad about not like spending more time looking at all the details in the game because people obviously put a lot of detail in here to kind of model everything inside and out, literally. And for this purpose, I'm just kind of not speed running the game by any means, but we're definitely not paying attention to the stuff that doesn't matter. Hello. The Tipukitan tourist. You know, we're just doing the necessary stuff to move the plot line along. But definitely I recommend if you see this game and it looks interesting to you and you want to spend more time looking at all the stuff, the handcrafted stuff, by all means, please get the game yourself. Check it out. Let's go look at Shelmerston, 1400 BC.
Well, don't suppose I'll ever look at Aggie's room the same way again, will I?
Morris, take a look at those skulls, please.
The skulls? Well, they have memories inside them? Oh, that's rather morbid, Sparky.
Not quite. Look, I didn't explain this before because I felt things were confusing enough, but that slicing is a bit more powerful than I've led you to believe.
Oh, well, what do you mean?
Well, we aren't limited to memories of people who are alive. People are bounded by time, but memories aren't. Check it out.
You can go back in time by slicing? Alright, well first let's look at Aggie. The Bog Lady of Shelmerston, the body of a woman in her 40s, superbly preserved by the peat she was dug from. Hello, Aggie. Nice to meet you. I guess we've met you before. We ran this museum. What do we have here? The Bronze Age human skull. Bronze Age human skull. Bronze Age human skull. That over there looks like a fish person. Yeah, fish person skull. Well, let's check them out. Well, there he is. Bronze Age man.
Oh, I didn't think dead stomachs could get queasy, but here we are. Where are we, Sparky?
When we are.
Are we, Morris?
There we go.
This is Shelmerston in Aggie's time. You should be able to find some memories of her here.
You are some dog, Sparky.
And, dog and island spirit. Mostly dog, though. Alright, I can go back to museum. Okay, so that's as far left as I can go. The hunters here, hanging out. We're gonna find some gatherers over here, maybe. We had hunters, then we had gatherers. Oh, look, it's like the kids. Like the same kids from 3,000 years later. Here they are again. Well, we've got Unop here. Unop, one of the village elders and widely respected for her advice and wisdom. Hello, Unop.
It was the worst night in the world when Aggie was born. It began in the old village, the one swept away by the rivers of fire. The ground shook and the earth split open and spat sparks. The sun hid and the huts burst into flame as we fled.
We call that a volcanic eruption, is what we call that.
I thought we would all die. Everyone washed in the burning orange death, and Aggie's mother howling with the pain of the child coming. We made it as far as the cliff top by the sea. The mountain was still roaring and roaring. The rock ran in rivers toward the sea. The air smelled of death and poison. But Aggie was perfect. Small and angry, her tiny fists pummeling the air. I used my knife to cut the cord. We chose a spot for the new village closer to the beach. The burning rivers cooled to pumice and black glass. I made sure everyone knew that a life that began in this way would be special. Not everyone believed me, but Aggie proved me right.
Darn right she did.
My goodness. Giving birth like that must have been awful. What a terrifying situation.
So, where do you think that knife is? Should we look around here, or...?
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen that knife before. Back at the museum, I reckon.
Okay, Morris, let's go.
That's interesting that we have to go back and forth. Okay. But can I talk to other people before I leave? Is there anything more? There's not. Okay, so this skull only has memory of the knife. It was used to cut her umbilical cord. So we got the vegetable growers. The Cabinet of Curiosities. There's a cat swimming through the Bosphorus. Bosphorus, the swimming cat. Okay, what is the deal with Bosphorus, the swimming cat? Bosphorus, the Turkish van cat, was a local celebrity in Shelmerston. The Turkish van breed is famous for its love of swimming, and Bosphorus was no exception. He could often be seen paddling around Shelmerston to the delights of tourists, and even featured in an episode of the popular TV show Look West. Well, I hope that that's not really the cat. I hope that's not the stuffed and modeled, like, stuffed and mounted cat that you made a... I hope you made a replica of the cat. Oh, look, it's the knife right there. Good going, Phosphorus, catching me. Bronze ritual knife. This knife has been passed down through the generations on Shelmerston for as long as anyone knows. Always entrusted to the person on the island thought best able to look after it. Although its origin and original purpose have been lost to time, it has always felt like an important piece of Shelmerston history.
Beautiful. And to think that people had not long stopped using flint tools when this was made.
There is so much history in this knife.
Ooh.
I'd love to see what else it got up to.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can dive into the knife. Okay, you can. But it was a good try. Alright, go back to the,
I'm getting the scent of Grenkins again, Morris. I'll pop up to let you know when we're close to one.
Yeah, I really don't care about the Grenkins, though. Hello, Arthur Bergonzi. Where was your sister? Oh, she was right there looking at us. Katie Bergonzi. Does she look older than before? I can't tell. Certainly not too much older. Okay, new skull time. I don't care about your Grankin, dude. Hello, villager with no name. Alright. You guys look apprehensive about something. You're some... I don't know what you're doing. You're staring at a rock with some sticks in your hand. You measuring it with the sticks? Hello, prehistoric chickens. Hello, prehistoric goats. And also a chicken. And there's those kids again. Peebly on goat. The goat is perfectly happy to have Peebly on its back, but Peebly has never managed to get it to take him anywhere. I have to know, can we go inside? We cannot. Even though it looks like we can interact with it, we can't actually interact with it. I was like, can we slice our way through the goat? See if there's anything exciting inside the goat. Hey, there we go. You're a fish person. Safi, the priestess, is preparing a tincture for Krch. One of the few fish people to regularly visit the village and share knowledge with the villagers. Fish person and Aggie's friend.
Of course we watched her. We had heard of her birth and seen her on the shore. Her feet sometimes in the seawater, her body in the sun.
But that's right, they said that she prevented the world from cracking or something like that? Something about Aggie and their legends?
We did not show ourselves at first. As a test, we left a mirror on the black shore, born of the volcano on the same day as her, and waited to see what would happen, to see if it called to her. She picked it up, turned it from side to side. She took it home.
And then?
The next time I saw her, I introduced myself. We sang together. And I showed her how the mirror worked. How if you emptied your mind and thought of air and light and sea, you would see things in its surface. How things would unfurl in the future. Aggie was better at mirror gazing than any of us sea folk.
Now, is that real? Like, is it really a magic mirror? I mean, or is it basically just going into a trance and subconsciously or unconsciously having visions or thinking about the future?
She saw a girl, her own daughter not yet born, as leader of the dry folk. I told Aggie to keep on gazing into that mirror, that one day the island would need something more than a leader.
It would need a custodian. Now we have to find the mirror.
Oh, I had a box of rocks that looked like that mirror somewhere. Where did I put it?
In the museum, I bet. Can I go to the right any further? No. Back to the museum. Looking for some rocks. Oh, is that David Abrams? Or David Abrams? Or dead David Abrams? Alright, looking for a box of rocks. I mean, there's a big, that doesn't look like a mirror, though. And it's certainly not something you can hold in your hand unless Aggie was a giant. And we know she's not a giant because we have her body. There's a grooming mitt for grooming camels. Maybe it's up front. Maybe it's this thing right here. No, that's a geode. Snow globe. Alright. You sure it's not the geode? Okay, well, we know what this is over here. This Rankin. That's got to be the pencils. That's definitely the pencils, though. Alright, Rankin, come to me. 1 out of 10 Brinkins found. Alright, still looking for a box of rocks, though, lady. Sorry, that was probably a little sickening, the way it kind of slurped around real quick like that. Maybe slurp is a real bad choice of words. I'm gonna have a gander at all of these exhibits. Look for anything that might be a rock. Ah, miscellaneous volcanic rocks. I almost didn't look up there. Is that a question mark? Well, I mean, I see the hook right there. That's not hard. That was the easiest one yet. Well, maybe the pencils were easier. 2 of 10 Grinkins. And let's look in the miscellaneous volcanic rock, 1986. The mirrored rock. This piece of volcanic rock is very finely polished with swirling patterns carved on the reverse.
Whoa. This thing is really powerful, Morris. Can you feel it?
No. I'm not really attuned to that, but if you say it is. Alright. Now, it's gonna whip around here. Ugh. If you're doing this in VR, that might be sickening. Okay, new skull, please. Hey, you're Peepo or whatever his name was, right? Something like that. The ceremonial stone. Oatzel's homestead. I saw you way back there. I'm coming to get you. Don't you worry. The hunters. We have Ibni, the chief hunter of the village. No one can outdraw Ibni with a bow. Left-handed draw, Ibni.
I was always fearless. My mother Aggie told me there was nothing I couldn't do.
Oh, your
With
mother.
Otsul and without, I hunted the deer in the woods and the hares on the mountain, all before I had taken my first lover.
Hey, this is a family-friendly show. We don't talk about that.
And younger still, one time Aggie had me knock her tooth out when she was in terrible pain. I didn't mind even when the blood poured out. It was easy for me.
Did you hit her with a rock? You needed to remove the tooth, so you hit her with a rock?
Spears and knives were my nature. Death and courage were my meat and drink. I knew about Aggie's mirror, of course, but did not believe all of it.
You're a
When Aggie
arrogant
warned us the
one.
mauler was sick and there would be fewer calves for the following years, none of us listened. It was to be my first cull. I wanted their blood. It was my nature. We would not take less of the Morlo just because an old woman told us to.
And then you killed too many of the Morlo and you had none for the next year? Is that what happened?
She came to the beach after the Morlo slaughter, her hair wild, eyes burning with fury, raged and shouted like a woman out of her mind. We had killed too many, she said. Then she left the village, told us she was done with all of us, forever.
Wait, that's your mother? Your mother just left
As
you?
Otsul marked me with oil and blood, I did not mourn my mother leaving. I was young and foolish, and the sight of her ashamed me. But of course, I did not see what was to come.
What was to come was a famine and no Morlo.
To think that they were still having the same arguments about the Morlo way back in the Bronze Age.
Aggie must have sensed the trouble ahead. Maybe she was trying to find a way to prevent it.
Alright. Well, we are looking for a, obviously it's going to be in the museum. Looking for a little ceremonial bowl that held, like, Morlo blood or something. Ceremonial bowl with Morlo blood. I haven't looked at the map of Shelmerston. Doesn't really tell me anything, though. Dear Ceremonial Bowl, where would I find you? Look, there's the, a little cap, a little, whatever, sousaphone mouthpiece. Well, there's a whole thing about the Morlo here, so you would think that maybe this would be a good place for it. There's a reel-to-reel tape player in here. The Song of the Morlo is a traditional folk song recorded in the Camel Pub in 1969, sung by Gareth Jones and accompanied by the Morlo Singers.
Oh, I'll sing you a song of the Queen of the Sea. When I first met her and when she first met me.
I didn't really want to listen to the Song of the Morlo. Well, I did. I didn't want to look at the Grinkin. I wanted to listen to the song.
The silver and red and the start of my life.
Sorry, there's no closed captioning here.
Of my fathers and brothers, my first precious knife. The Morlo is wide and the Morlo is tall. Left my feather bed when I first heard the call. Morlo, Morlo. Just a boy in a soft heart who had never left land. Queen of the sea made me first a man. They came to Pendine when the moon rose so high. They came up the beach all ready to die. We men of the Isles, we welcome the Morlo. We answer their song, yes, we answer their call. The Queen of the Seas, the mighty grey Morlo. Gave herself to me, gave herself to us all. Took up my knife and with all of the town stepped onto the beach and we cut them all down.
Poor Morlo.
The silver did flash and the blood it did flow, and the calves caught their mothers and on they did go. But I never did stop, my blade never did fail, with the Queen of the Seas that most marvelous way. And the blood on my hands and the blood on the sand was the blood that I let and that made me a man. And the men of the Isles, both the short and the tall, give thanks for the marvelous, wonderful Morlo.
Woo! Well, thank you for the Song of the Morlo. Really appreciate that. There it is right there.
Oh, I'll sing you a song of the Queen of the Sea.
Bone-carved Morlo oil lamp.
When I first met her and when she first met
What
me.
a beautiful object. Delighted to have it in our museum.
Of the silver and red and the stars of my life.
All right. Well, he said they were a whale. I mean, save the whales is a thing, but I mean, it looks like a manatee. But I'm pretty sure in the song he called it a whale. I'm gonna zoom back over here because spending a lot of time in this episode listening to songs of the Morlo. Hello, sir. All right. There's the hunters. They are carving up some Morlo meat or something. There's it looks like yes, Unop is giving her blessing to Uv and Yanya's marriage despite her misgivings. But it says despite her misgivings about her daughter marrying the village stick gatherer. Yeah, we saw him like just holding some sticks up. Okay, it's his job to carry all the sticks. I see you over there, fish person. Fish person talking to the goats. One of the few fish people to visit the village. We've saw him before. He was talking to someone.
She was alone, and I would bring her food sometimes, samphire and sea urchins. She would make dry food, and we would eat it together. Textures unlike any we knew that broke apart in your hands and in your mouth.
You didn't know fire.
We would sing together, make tea together. We became her family. The dry folk left her alone. She had a companion for a few seasons, a hind who came down from the mountain and slept at her fire. And then, for a few more, a golden hair that ate from her hand. One night we all felt it. Those of us in the water and those above.
The eruption.
The island waking, rumbling, alive again, more furious than before.
All right, that's the scene?
I found Aggie awake, tending her fire, unsleeping, unresting, staring into her mirror. She told me she'd seen the island sinking into orange fire and boiling sea, lost forever above and below. The village and our town in the sea caves, all gone.
This is where she becomes the, Oh, you got loud there, game. This is where she becomes the custodian, I guess.
Aggie went to the shore and blew the sinistral shell, calling our people up from the water. Aggie sang for them the oldest song, and we spoke for some time. That night, the sea and sky was all the same color, a deep grey blue like a mackerel's back without the glitter. As the dawn approached, Aggie left the beach to return to her people, to tell them what must be done.
What must be done? Sacrifice her? Is she a human sacrifice? Where do you want me to land this? Right there. Okay.
I'm not sure. I want to see what happens next.
It's a
We
human
have to,
sacrifice.
Morris.
Guarantee it's a human sacrifice, but it sounds like she is volunteering. So we're looking for the shell, the sinistral shell. So sinister is what the Roman word, the Greek word for left, something like that. So when we say someone is sinister, technically that started out by being the left or something to the left. That's also kind of, I think, where we get the idea that left-handed people are evil or witches. So it's a sinistral shell. That might be a shell that spirals to the left when they should spiral to the right. You know, if shells of that kind normally spiral to the right. I don't know. Let's zoom back around. I didn't see anything there. I was, there it is right there. Festival of the Sea, the sinistral shell. Sinistral shells are extremely rare examples of shells which are left-handed. They turn anti-clockwise. These shells are often played by the fishfolk as accompaniment to their songs. I was right.
Such a small thing. But it changed the entire course of our island.
All right, last skull. Let's go get it. Let's go zoom, zoom, zoom. Final skull. It's the fish person skull. It's Krach. Hello, Krach. Yes, I am giving your name a very Scottish brogue. Woo! Almost past them. Okay. So, what do we got here? Oatzel's story. Every week, the entire village gathers for a communal lunch, and while they are waiting for it to cool down, Oatzel tells them another installment of his very long story. I mean, makes sense. Storyteller and oral traditions, a very long
We heard the shell
tradition.
and knew Aggie had returned. Ibni was the leader then. It had taken many seasons, more than we would have liked, but there were finally enough Morlo again and our village was growing. We were strong.
See? You should have listened. There were finally enough Morlo again, you said. So there was years of not enough Morlo. And that's all your fault. Oh, I went too far. I thought I unlocked that. Was I not on it?
Some of the younger ones didn't know Aggie and didn't want to hear her. Called her a moon-shot crone. But Ibni looked in her mother's face and saw the truth of it. The end would come. The earth was growling again. There would be hot rivers of death and clouds of poison.
I went too far again. Let's try this again. Not there, it's there.
But Aggie brought us the answer. She would give herself to the island. Ibni's voice shook. Surely a deer or a goat would be enough. The year's finest, blackest calf. Aggie cast down her eyes and shook her head. We all knew. I offered my blade, but Aggie turned me away. She took her knife that had cut her own cord the night the volcano last erupted and wrapped Ibni's fingers tight around the bone hilt. It must be you, Ibni, she said. And it must be now, before the sun comes up. This day, this morning, or we are all gone. The village, the people, the island.
Sorry, Ibni.
Aggie
Sorry, Aggie.
embraced her daughter. Ibni whispered something, but I could not catch the words. Both women's faces shone with tears. Aggie sat on the ceremonial stone, the tears streaming now from all of us. Aggie delivered her final message. She told us her body must not be burned or given to the sea,
but laying in the earth of the island beneath the mountain. Ibni was shaking, and then I realized it was not just Ibni. The whole island was trembling under our feet, waking up. Aggie told Ibni to be quick, the end was coming.
Her body could not be burned or given to the sea. It needed to be laying in the earth, but we dug her up. It was our fault.
As Aggie took Ibni's hand and guided the knife to her side, we saw the fish folk rising from the sea, hundreds of them, so many. I had no idea there were so many.
Yeah, they have Old Town down there.
Aggie was quiet the whole time, but Ibni cried out. A sound of longing and hurting from her heart like I had never heard. Then she fell silent, and as Aggie's life poured from her body, the island and everything on it fell suddenly still. Utterly still. We wept then, in sorrow and relief. Then the fish folk were among us, countless, numberless. One embraced Ibni, holding her up as it seemed her own legs might give way. When the sun came up that day, land and sea folk stood together for the first time, talking and singing the old songs, Aggie's songs, together.
Thank you for your service,
Ibni
Aggie.
and the fish folk took Aggie up onto the mountain. They laid her in the peat alongside the knife and all the things she would need on her journey. Ibni watched over Aggie for days afterwards. Before she was covered, she placed a sacred carved stone, Aggie's beloved hair, inside her mother's mouth, to guide her and help her keep the mountain still forever. And so it was.
Carved hair in her mouth.
Oh, Aggie. Now that's bravery.
Good on you, Aggie. Good on you. Is there anything else I can see? No, that's the end. Alright. Well, if they put it in her mouth, when they put her in the ground, is it still in her mouth? Oh, you can slice through her. I don't think that was possible before. Skin is gone, down to muscle, down to bones and organs. And now just organs. And one carved rabbit. How far can you actually go? You can... Oh, you could get just to the heart. Interesting, but there's nothing in there. You would think that maybe there'd be like an Easter egg or something in there, but I like the slow cinematic pan as you unravel her. The carved hair. Relics like this have been discovered in the mouth cavity of a number of skulls dating from this period. It is thought they were placed after death in the belief that they would protect the deceased in the afterlife.
Hey, Sparky, it feels a bit, disrespectful looking inside Aggie's body like that.
You were the one who dug her up and put her on a plinth, Morris.
Yeah, but I...
Relax, Morris. This body isn't Aggie anymore. She's long past needing this old thing.
Well, all right then.
Alright, well that's all 5. We can talk to Aggie now.
Okay, Morris. I'll level with you. We absolutely didn't need to find Aggie's mementos in order for me to sniff her out. She's here, and waiting for you. She has been this whole time.
But you
But
still
then
wanted me to know the story.
Why did we need to visit the Bronze Age?
Aggie thought it was important for you to see those memories, so you would understand her path before you met her. But also, wasn't it cool?
It was pretty
That
cool.
it was. The things I've seen now. Oh, Sparky, thank you so much. To think, for a while there, I was worried that being dead was gonna be boring.
You are very welcome, Morris. Okay, so, shall we go say hello to Aggie?
Yes!
Let's do it. Visit Aggie. Here we go. Hello, Aggie.
Morris, Sparky, it's so good to see you both.
Hey, Aggie.
Wait, you know me?
Of course I do. Morris Lupton, one of the best-loved men in the history of Shelmerston.
I don't believe that. Nobody knows me.
With the very finest dog.
Me? Oh, I don't know.
Come now, let's go out of this place, into the air.
Well, I mean, I will give you one thing. You were right. We do have the very finest dog.
The one part of Shelmerston that looks just the same as the first day I saw it. I suppose it always will.
I love this beach. It's always been my favorite beach. I'm gonna go run.
Aggie, look at Sparky. She's shining.
That's the hope and the joy shining out of her.
That's it, isn't it? The point of all of this.
It is hope, home. This island, it chose the two of you just as it chose me.
And where will you be heading now? Heaven or something?
Heaven, what's that?
Well, I don't quite know how to explain it. But to me, it would be an awful lot like this beach.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm hoping to see Ibni, my daughter. It's been a very long time, but I remember her. We never forget the ones we love, do we, Morris?
No, I don't suppose we do.
I think she wants something, Morris.
Huh. Would you look at that? I just found a tennis ball in my pocket. Here you are, girl.
Loving memory, Morris Lupton. So the end. I suppose we are. I'm so confused because is the ending supposed to be open to interpretation? Because Aggie said the island has chosen you. So me, Morris Lupton, and Sparky. However, there was that whole bit about we weren't dead long enough, but there was also that other bit where they said that time passes differently when you're dead. But they never really came out and said we were going to be the next custodian. So it's got to work out somehow. Unless we believe that that we let the volcano take over and just wipe everything out. The riddle wrangler didn't do any of the riddles. Song of the Morlow, music by Grandmaster Gareth. Lyrics by Katherine Johnson. Mr. Whitstable's Riddle Song. And there again, Grandmaster Gareth. I suppose we can talk about the game. Yeah, I liked it. It was... I mean, there was nothing hard about it, really. It was a nice little narrative journey talking about the history of an island and its people. A little emotional there at the end. Good art if you like that kind of art style. It's probably a little short, but I kind of expected something after you unlocked all the people. Thought maybe that would just be the, like, Act 1, and there would at least be an Act 2. Save the Morlow. Hello, playtesters. You did a good job, I guess. I didn't really come into any, or run into any bugs, but you must have found them all. I see Nathan Gary is listed as Annapurna Interactive, but I saw him like doing more stuff up top. So he kind of had a role in both creating the game and publishing it, it seems like. QA team seemed French names. Was built with the Unreal Engine. I Am Dead. Copyright 2020 Fish Tickler LLC. It's quite a name. Developed by Hollow Ponds Games Limited. Published by Annapurna Interactive. All rights reserved. And I guess that's it. There's no, I mean, you could always go back in. Go back in and revisit things, probably. How far back does it take us? Oh yes, we've unlocked everything. We can go visit Aggie. We can look at everything. We can go to the different areas. I thought we could go to the different areas. Yes, that's how you go to the different areas. Okay. You have to click on the map, not click on the head, which is a little odd. You'd think they both would work the same. But, there you go. If you play the game yourself... Oh no. Go away. If you play the game yourself and you want to hunt down all the Grankins and just have a good time experiencing things, there you go. You can keep playing after you beat it. But that's it for I Am Dead. So thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next time in something else, I guess.